The following program is rated D for dumb.
Thank you, Harry. I appreciate you. Introducing the show is rated D for dumb. This is Dave Canyon. I will confirm that D for dumb. And I also want to confirm D for drive. Let's go for a drive. Hal, sing us a song.
9 o'clock, I'm bored to death. Smoke so much I can smell my own breath. My baby left me, my best friend's not at home. Can't get that woman off my mind. I've never been the brooding kind, but there's still one thing makes me come alive. Yeah, I'm gone for a drive.
The following podcast is rated D for dumb. You're listening to Dumbing It Down with Dave, the fastest podcast on earth. Listen to Dave commute to and from work on the New York State Thruway in his 2008 Kia Rio LX. He talks about pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. Join Dave as he asks and tells you how life ought to be. And now, here's Dave.
That's right, Alex. AlexXM, ALEXEXUM.com. This is Dave. We are going for a drive. You want to drive with me? Boy, I felt like I said a lot, and then I figured I'd hit the post. I can't, that's a radio term. I missed the post. It almost makes me want to redo this intro all over again, but I got to tell you, I'm not going to worry about it because it's infinitely better than yesterday's attempt. What show number is this? I don't know what show number this is. It doesn't matter. But whatever show number this is, whatever show name this is, it's take two. About 24 hours ago, I went home exhausted. It was totally incoherent. And I did one of the, if not the worst show I've ever done, ever, folks. And what happened was, we were 29 minutes into it when I realized, we're not going to get to it. It's not going to happen. And I wasn't making my points and really incoherent. So I said, you know what, Dave? You always do this. Just end the show. And then you'll do a part two or whatever. And you'll explain yourself in part two. And I sat there. I was so tired. And I felt so bad. I said, man, that's one of the worst half-hour shows I've ever done. And I sat there. I did the outro. And I had my finger on the button that on the Spreaker Studio app that says, send it. Basically, it really sends it to a draft location, and then from there you kind of fill out more information, and then you finally publish it. But anyway, so I sat there with my finger like pointed like E.T. I was like, publish podcast. And I was like debating with myself, do it, don't do it. I said, if I don't publish it now, I'll do another half hour, and I'll clean it up. I'll continue. I'll find some energy. I'll find some energy. And I'll explain the first half hour, which I would have done with a part two. And then I'll just, I'll do an hour show. Big deal. The second half hour was worse than the first. It's so bad. And I know this because I always listen to my podcasts before I publish them. And, man, it was a hard listen. It really was. It was a tough listen. I was embarrassed for myself. I was the only one listening to myself in my van, in the caravan, which I'm driving, on the way into work last night. And it was so bad. I had my head in my hand going, wow, I didn't know I was capable of being this bad. I don't think I've been this bad in over 250 episodes. It was pretty bad. Incoherent, rambling, and then there was a sound issue. The microphone was rubbing against the zipper on my hoodie, which I often take off when I do a show. I usually just, because I've had that happen before. So anyway, I was low on energy. I was incoherent. I went an hour instead of it, so it's double the pain. It was just horrible. So this is it. This is whatever episode number it was, take two. But you wouldn't have known unless I told you. But I feel like it's kind of something you should know, that not every show goes off without a hitch, without a glitch or whatever the words are. And that's it. All right. So there you go. Thank you, everybody. Hal, Alex, and Linda, for all your help. I really greatly appreciate it. Don't forget, Going for a Drive is available on Bandcamp. For those of you that like the intro song, that's called Going for a Drive by Hal in Philly. And I'm actually going to pause this because I want to find something and I want to share it with you. Okay, actually, I realize that's a bad idea. So here's what we're going to do. Bandcamp.com. Just type in Hal in Philly, Going for a Drive, one of those two or both of them, and it'll pop up. He's selling the song for $1, but you feel free to give a donation of $5 or anything more. For the holidays, you can buy the song as a gift for your friends and family. You can keep it for yourself, and if you want, you can give more than $1 because Hal is out of musical work. He's gigging with other crazy, appy shipping, picking up, moving gigs, dog walking, all this craziness. But he usually makes a lot of money as a musician, and with the COVID, he's locked down. No music, no live music. So please feel free to purchase Going for a Drive on Bandcamp.com. All right, and by the way, Tales of the Road Warriors is Hal in Philly's podcast. TALES, Tales of the Road Warriors, which I make an appearance on at least once. I'm not sure what episode number is, but that's not really that important. What's important is his most recent interview is with the man of 10,000 sounds or 10,000 voices. I forgot what he calls it. I think it's sounds. It's the man of 10,000 sounds. Do you know who that is? He interviews the man of 10,000 sounds. That would be Michael Winslow from the Police Academy movies. And many, many other things, apparently. So it's an interesting interview. Have some fun. And that's it. Michael Winslow from Police Academy. And there's a history between Hal and Michael from California from back in the day when they were both open micing. So you get to get a little inside information on how their relationship came about, how Michael's career came about, and what's Michael doing now. So some interesting stuff from a guy who has all those sounds. And does he have voices? He must have some voices, but I know he's mostly sounds. And how they came up with 10,000, I don't know. There wasn't any discussion of the verification. There wasn't any discussion. If I was interviewing him, I would be asking for verification. But that's okay. Hal does his thing, and he does it differently. So, all right, there you go. I thanked everybody. I gave him a plug. And, of course, Awesome Insanity Surfers with Linda Irwin, they're doing that Crash Dystopia thing. Series finale, I think, happened the other day. I heard that. I heard all of her Crash Dystopia episodes. I was sad to see it go. I'm optimistic, cautiously optimistic, that there will be a return of something, somehow, somewhere, where Linda will tell a story and keep me captivated. I am cautiously optimistic about that. And if you haven't checked out any of Awesome Insanity Surfers, you should, because it's a unique brand of comedy when it was comedy, and then it became it's funny, as I'm telling you this, a banner came down on my phone from an app called Podcast App, and it says Awesome Insanity Surfers Crash Dystopia. So I get reminders of her podcast all the time. It's craziness. So, she pivots from comedy early on a couple of years ago. For the longest time, she just did comedy, and then she pivots into, what do they call it, post-apocalyptic drama. Good stuff. All right. Thank you, everybody. And I thank myself for having energy today, because yesterday I was like, hey, so... and as I'm doing it, I go, do you have energy? It doesn't sound like you have energy. I'm like, no, I got energy. So I kept on pushing myself. Obviously, I don't think it was that bad. But I kept on pushing myself, and then, man, it was just the worst podcast ever. I have it saved, and because I fancy myself like one day there'll be a blooper reel or something. Somehow I'll, why delete it? It's just digital. It just takes up no space. But it is a big waste of time. It's the worst hour ever I've ever done. All right, here's what we're going to do, just to keep things simple. By the way, I was also, not only was I incoherent, I was rusty because it's been a long time since I did my previous podcast. How long has it been? I'll tell you in a second. My last one was Bobby, Pat, Hal, and Linda Go for a Drive, and it looks like that's dated December 2nd. So yesterday was the 11th, so yeah, it was 9 days. And I was in the reason why is, and by the way, not an excuse. It's not an excuse, it's a reason. And there's a reason why I'm emphasizing that, because recently I had a friend who alleged that I was an excuse maker, that I make excuses. And I got really upset with that remark. And you might want to guess, we're not friends. Yeah, I kind of let go of that depleter. Like, oh, I'm an excuse maker, am I? See you later. Goodbye. So I'm not going to call the show Another Friend Bites the Dust. We're going to continue on. I'll find a title for it somehow, somewhere. But, yeah, I was in a dark, dark space for the last 4 or 5 days. I was sick for a couple of days. With what? I don't know. My head was buzzing. My ears were ringing. I just felt so uncomfortable. Of course, in my head, I'm going, uh-oh, is this it? Do you have that thing? And I was like, no, I'm just going to keep on going. I'm just going to, I was in my house all alone. I didn't work overtime this week. I go in Tuesday nights and do overtime. I didn't. I called in Monday night and said, listen, man, I can't do it. So I don't feel good. And then, of course, midway through the night on Wednesday, I snapped back. I could just feel it. I took a phone call from a supervisor. My head was buzzing, not badly, but I was like, I don't feel that great. And then after the phone call, I forgot all about it. I just forgot all about it. I hung up the phone. Do people still say that? I hung up the phone. I ended the call. I don't know if you can technically can say I hung up the phone with a cell phone. You got to say I ended the call. That's a proper cell phone nomenclature, or whatever it's called. Phraseology? I don't know. So anyway, I ended the call, and I was driving out to Long Island, and somewhere in the next half hour, 45 minutes, I realized, oh, I feel good now. Whatever that phone call did just distracted me from being sick or something, and everything ended. The buzzing, the headache, the aching, all of it just ended. So I feel better now. But now my wife is sick, so I have to go to the CVS pharmacy, get her Flonase, alcohol wipes for the, anal thermometer, I think. I'm not really sure. And Flonase, and then her prescription, and there was something else. Oh, ibuprofen. So there you go. There's my shopping list of things I got to get for my wife because she's not feeling well. And I hope she doesn't have the C word either. She got tested yesterday, so we'll find out. We'll find out if she's got to be quarantined, and if she's being quarantined, I guess I got to take a test and get quarantined too. Which, by the way, I would really love. Whatever is the amount of time they give you off, or force you to stay, whatever. I'm almost looking forward to it. I don't want her to get it, but you know what I'm saying? Is this a dilemma for men and women across the country that don't want to go to work to go, I don't want my spouse to have it, but, I kind of feel like a New York Jet fan right now. The New York Jets are like 0-12. They're 2 losses away from having a perfect, is it 4? No, 4 losses away from having a perfect 0-16 season, which means they would get the number 1 draft choice, which apparently is a great, great, great quarterback. Even though they just drafted a quarterback a couple of years ago, a guy named Sam Darnold, I don't know. Every time I see his name on the jersey, and every time I hear them pronounce it, I go, okay, I'm not going to forget. I'm going to remember. And then I don't. It's Sam Darn something. Darn cat. That darn cat. So, apparently he's not as good as a quarterback as they hoped. Also, they have the worst coach in the world. Why am I talking football? We don't care. But the thing is they're going to get the number 1 draft pick, and so they might get this great, great, I guess he's going to win a Heisman Trophy or something, quarterback. But he's not a senior, so he can actually opt out. He can go back to school instead of playing for the Jets, which is very likely. Quite possible. We don't know if it's likely, but it's possible. They're going to fire the coach. They're going to fire everybody, and then they're going to be 0-16, hopefully. I'm not that big of a Jet fan, so I don't care. I can say hopefully. But all these hypocrites are calling the local radio station saying, well, I'm a Jet fan. I don't want them to go 0-16. I don't care if they go 4-12. Yeah, you do. That'd be the worst thing ever. The Jets are so bad. They are so bad. How bad are they? They're so bad they can't even lose right. They can't win, and they can't lose right, because if they don't lose the right way over the next 4 games, they're going to blow this draft pick. And he's supposed to be a great quarterback. Okay, there you go. So that's what I feel like. I'm like, well, I don't want my wife to have COVID. But if she does, I guess I'm going to have to take a test and go quarantine too, maybe. I don't know what the rules are. Well, maybe I get tested if I don't have the quarantine, I don't have the C word with COVID, whatever, I don't know. Then I don't have to report it? I don't know how it works. I'm sure with Andrew Cuomo at the helm, I'm sure it's very, very convoluted and complicated what I have to do. All right, there you go. There's a couple of icebreakers there. Let's get to some show notes. Let's get to show notes. I'm going to go. I know we were pretty close to getting caught up. I think we already did this episode once, but I'm going to do it again because there was something in here I wanted to talk about. So I'm definitely more alert. But by the way, folks, don't forget to leave your comments here in the Spreaker chat room if you're listening on Spreaker. And for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, Spreaker. A lot of people don't have Spreaker. It's not exactly Apple. It's pretty small. I think it's smaller than Stitcher. But I'm everywhere there are podcasts, but not everywhere there are podcasts can you leave a comment. So if you're listening on Spreaker, or if you want to come on over to Spreaker, it's free for the listening app. And you can listen, you can leave a comment, but there's a little chat box. It's very intuitive. I really think Spreaker is one of the best platforms for a lot of things, and the Spreaker chat box is one of them. But if you're not on Spreaker, of course, tweet me at dumbwithdave, D-U-M-B, with Dave. Email me at dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com, right? And I'm definitely on Instagram as well. A lot of stuff we're posting on Instagram. But you'd be surprised. And for those of you who haven't been there, look me up on Dumbing It Down with Dave. Look me up at Dumbing It Down with Dave on Instagram. Also, the Dumbing It Down with Dave Facebook group. That's where I posted the picture. What did I post? I just posted a picture of the holiday meal that my company supplied us. Every year we have a holiday meal about this time, right? Most companies do. Usually we have a buffet. And it's like lasagna, and there's soup, and salad, and cookies. I mean, like abundant food. Abundant buffet. Abundant. That word couldn't be... And you can't get a better word. Plentiful? No. Bountiful? Yeah, I don't know. But abundant. Like, yeah. Anyway, not this year. This year we got a school lunch. We got lunch in a box. And I got the meat lasagna. And it's basically, it's like a scoop of meat lasagna. A small little teeny biscuit that any southerner, I'm a northerner, but, if a southerner saw that biscuit, that southerner would have been like, damn, this is bad. This is small. Where's the biscuit? What happened to a biscuit? And the meat lasagna was fine. And then they gave you a stick of butter. So I posted a picture of it, and I wrote something about should I be grateful? I don't feel grateful right now. Anyway, so there's that. Yeah, the Dumbing It Down with Dave Facebook group. That's where you can see stuff. I'm getting a little tired. By the way, I didn't yawn at all during the whole hour yesterday. My hour travesty. I didn't yawn once, but still, it was a horrible podcast. All right, let me pause this so I can have a drink break. All right, I'm drinking water with apple cider vinegar. I hope that clears my throat a little bit. I don't like when my voice gets all trebly. I like when it has a little bass, little bottom. I like when it has a little bottom. Yeah, bottom, bottom, bottom. Okay, so there you go. Dumbing It Down with Dave Facebook group. Take a look at that. And Instagram. I should post that picture on Instagram as well. In fact, I think I will try to remember and do that before I go to bed today. Okay, what was I doing? Let's, and the other thing is, the last and final thing, don't forget, call the Dumbing It Down with Dave hotline. It's also called the Dumb Line, all right? That is 3477 I am dumb. The letter I, the letter M, dumb. 3477 I am dumb. We've had several phone calls. They've all worked out very good. It's great to hear your voice. This is a very interactive medium, podcasting. It doesn't have to just be me talking. I don't take phone calls. I don't go live, not just yet. But if I did, it'd be great to hear from you. So consider this a practice run. Call the number, 3477, the letter I, the letter M, dumb, or 347, here we go, 746-3862. That number once again, 347-746-3862. Try to keep it, basically 60 seconds or less, and absolutely no profanity. Otherwise, it won't be played on the show. No profanity whatsoever. Okay. There you go. Let's do this show here. Let's just redo it, the comment section. The episode was called We're Out of Stock of Orange Pine Boxes. Orange Pine Boxes. We're out of stock. Okay. In this episode, Dave discusses the destruction of the New York State Thruway as well as the importance of doing pre-need for funeral arrangements and the consequences. Yes, I'm all about pre-need. By the way, as a pragmatic, everything I do, it's all about dotting the I's, crossing the T's, and filling the voids, and, closing the doors, and just making everything is as airtight as possible. Everything is at the ready. Life is short and things happen, and you should be prepared. And doing a pre-need for your parents or even your own funeral arrangements is a great idea. You'll thank me later. I wish I had a funeral home to plug, but I don't. I'm just saying pre-need. I learned my lesson. Well, I already knew it, but my family wouldn't back me up, so I had to do extra work when my mom passed this past April. That was really not fun. Okay, we're out of stock of orange pine boxes. Let's go to the comments section. Only 5 comments, not a lot of comments. Let me see. Doesn't look like 5. All right. Linda Irwin starts by saying, I make my own schedule and do not watch things that are on at scheduled times on television. I also do not like late-night television talk shows. Podcasting is a different story. I will go to those live as much as I can. Good job, Linda. That's absolutely right. I like the way she handles that TV show. I don't go on a schedule. There's fire and ice all around me. I don't have time for schedules. Okay. Linda Irwin wrote, I wish you well, too. Linda Irwin also wrote, Linda Irwin also wrote. She also writes, but she also wrote. You write some very catchy titles. Thank you, Linda. We should do a top 10, right? Shouldn't we do that? Yeah, we should do that. I'll get my staff right on that. I like when I volunteer information. Hey, should we do that, Linda? Yeah, it's a good idea. Who's going to do it? I'll get my staff right on it. Ugh. Did I mention that it's not sunny today? I usually give the weather report. It's not sunny. It's gray. Not too bad, but it's gray. It's definitely bright out, but it's gray. It's a bright gray. The sun is burning through, but you don't see any sunshine. It's just this bright haze. It's good enough. And yesterday was a beautiful day. So I'm telling you, folks, wherever you're living, if you don't like the fire, the ice, the earthquakes, the protesting, the looting, you got to come to upstate New York. It's really a very safe place to live, and it's relatively quiet. Unless you're in my caravan during my podcast, to and from work, twice a week. All right. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that. I try to write some nice titles without being clickbaitish, It's not easy. Okay. Bobby Massey wrote, he writes 2 comments? Yeah, 2 comments. Good job, Bobby. Thank you for contributing. I almost said contributing. Thank you for contributing, Bobby Massey. Bobby Massey, thank you for contributing. We appreciate it. All right, 14 days ago, Bobby Massey wrote, he meant to write cross. He writes crops, but he meant to write cross. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. That's been my 2020 mantra, right after it is what it is. And did he really win the election? And also, what are we eating? Little Italian meatball humor there. Hey. Bobby Massey with the humor. All right, here we go. This is a long one for Bobby Massey, and I'm going to take a drink break before I read it. All right. What happened to it? What did I do with it? I blew it. All right. Bobby Massey wrote, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. He says can't correct it after posting. Yeah, I know. I hate that, Bobby. You can delete the post. You can delete it. You just can't correct it. Shout out to you, Dave, for putting great shows together. I was offered to do a New Year's Eve gig in Las Vegas with limited audience, social distancing, all COVID precautions, and it'll be streamed live. Not sure if it's worth the trip, the risk. Still deciding. What do you think? Any perspectives from the others would be nice. I'm still taking care of my mom as well. It's just insane. In normal times, I would have booked it and not even thought twice. I know I'm leaning towards not doing it. All right, Bobby, you know what? I've had some time to think about this. That's a good question. By the way, folks, definitely feel free to chime in. This is an important issue because he's going to fly to Vegas. That's fun. He's actually got some friends there. Whatever. Bobby's circle of comedian people that he says he knows, and they know him, and they might be friends, they might be acquaintances. I don't know. Whatever he says he has. I know he really likes Vegas because he goes there. He used to live there, I think 2 different times, and all that. So let's think about this a little bit. Let's help Bobby out. He's been really great to leave comments. He's been leaving a lot of comments. He's been commenting on the comments. When I comment on the comments, he's commenting on those comments. He likes that whole wordplay thing. All right, so he's been contributing. Okay. You know what, Bobby? It really, of course, the decision is totally with you, Bobby. Whatever you decide, we'll support it. I don't like the idea of it. I don't like the risk. I mean, if the vaccine comes out and you're willing to take it and you trust it, all that sounds like a no-brainer to me. New Year's Eve. So now you got 20. Yeah, you probably already told them no or yes at this point, because if you don't show up, it all depends, of course. Well, let's say, okay, if it wasn't COVID, how much are they paying you, and the arrangements, where are you going to live, and fly? Does it work with your work schedule? All that plus, all that plus. By the way, I think stand-up comedy New Year's Eve gigs are often like the worst, like musical gigs and stand-up comedy gigs. I always heard those are the worst. Me, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go because if I was headlining and they're going to pay me $500, $600, that's a different story. But you're going to be a feature, Bobby, I assume, or a host. I don't think you said exactly where you're going to be in the lineup. I can't imagine they're going to pay you that much. Are they paying your airfare? They're putting you up in a hotel? You're getting fed? Whatever. All those questions, they're kind of important. They weigh in. But just COVID alone, I wouldn't go. Just not that into it. But that's me. I'm an old man. I don't want to go anywhere. So I'm probably the worst person to ask that question. All right. Thank you, Bobby. I appreciate you chiming in. Good job. You've been doing a good job of chiming in. You're a chimer. All right. Let's just do it. Episode 272. Do I have the time for this? Oh, I talk so much. All right. In this episode, Dave catched up. Did I write that? I didn't write that. Caught up on reading the show comments. I didn't write catched up. Is that really a word? A phrase? All right, only 4 comments. All right, here we go. Oh, there's a couple of long ones. Linda Irwin wrote, I so appreciate your respect. Well, thank you, Linda. You are welcome. No, wait. She didn't say thank you. She said, I so appreciate your respect. Oh, I say thank you. I'm learning my social graces. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate it. It's no problem. My pleasure. Linda Irwin also wrote, Adam's Family is very seriously creepy, where the monsters are funny creepy. Oh, I get it. You're right, Linda. Good job. You're absolutely right. All right, here comes the Bobby Massey comments. 2 long ones. Oh, these 2 comments need a show of their own. Although I feel like I've read these. Linda Irwin is the best. Bobby Massey says 11 days ago. Linda Irwin is the best. I have to say, I never paid for sex. I only paid them to leave. The back of Craigslist is awful. I can't even get someone from the front of Craigslist. It's the garage sale of dating there. Can't go there without a shot of penicillin, and register for the Green Party. Oh, jeez. And then he says, Adam's Family was creepy as hell. Even the theme song's a little weird. Snapping fingers? Ugh. If it were any creepier, Chris Hansen would have done To Catch a Predator. See, now, this is where Bobby gets all warmed up. He's like, I'm hot now. Joke. Bobby is on. I did a whole shtick in the episode that I didn't publish about being on or off. Bobby is definitely on. How much time do I have left? We're not wearing my glasses. See? Not going to be able to finish it. All right. Bobby, I promise we'll get back to you. We got to get back to it. 272. I'm going to start off with 272. And then, we're almost done. I'm almost caught up. It's going to happen, folks. I swear to God. I've been trying to catch up since 75 now. I think like the Mets won the World Series the year after, something like that. All right, guys. I had a lot of fun. Sorry, Bobby. I didn't mean to cut you off in mid-comment. I feel like Sean Hannity. Oh, I'm really sorry, but I didn't mean to cut you off. We'll get you at the top of that. Thank you for listening to this episode of Dumbing It Down with Dave. Goodbye, good day, good night, good luck, good riddance, good rats, Godspeed, and great skills. Take care. Bye all.